When did you have that point where it was like, I really want to be in ministry?
Pastoring was not on my radar at
Hmm.
all. God is
Okay.
super funny. I was going to hopefully become a pediatric heart surgeon. And what I heard was just like, no, this isn't what I want for you. We have this position that came up that's an assistant director of welcoming position. I ended up getting the job. And I'll tell you, day one, day two on staff, I was like, oh my God, this is the most fulfilling thing I've ever done.
Wow.
Being senior pastor or solo pastor, those types of things scared me at the time. I was like, no, God, certainly not me, God.
Yeah.
Like, just all of
Wow.
those things. But I'm telling you, the way that things have aligned and like just seeing the gifts that God's given me, it's just like, yeah, I guess this is what I'm called to. And
Yeah.
so, it's something that I've learned to embrace, and we learn along the way, but it's been an absolute blessing. There's a book that's called Hero Maker, and it's a
Okay.
church planting book. I highly recommend it to like just
Okay.
anybody to read. And they were saying the one thing that makes a good pastor or church planter is not wanting to be the hero, but wanting to be the hero maker.
Maker.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I resonate so much with that. Like, I take it as a big piece of my ministry to help people see the gifts that they have and
Hmm.
recognize their own ability to be those heroes that hands and feet
Yeah.
out in the world. And so that gives me so much joy and so much hope for all the things that are going to
Oh
happen
my
and stuff. So,
gosh. Yes. That makes me so excited.
mm,
Very excited. I can tell that this is one thing you're passionate about in ministry.
mhm.
Is there anything else that just really speaks to your heart when it comes to ministry that you just are
Yeah.
excited that you're already doing or you're hoping to do going forward?
Yeah. So I am extremely passionate of multi-ethnic ministry in the
Hmm.
full sense of the word, right?
Hmm.
When I think of multi-ethnic, I don't think of just multiracial or multicultural. I think of inclusivity with
Hmm.
that being, you know, building that beloved community that is not only multicultural, multiracial, but also fully inclusive with LGBTQIA community,
Hmm.
also bringing alongside those who have differing abilities, like that full sense of ethnicity, actually
Hmm.
having that in a tangible sense in the church, right?
Hmm.
Like we have it truncated in certain places, but it's
Yeah.
really hard to find it all in one place. And
Yeah.
since seminary, that has been a dream of mine of being able to create a church that we can hold those tensions all together in one
Hmm.
place. And so when I say I'm becoming senior pastor at Park is an answer to a prayer of mine since seminary, like
Yeah.
it truly is. Like it's very hard to find a place that dreams of being both multi-ethnic and inclusive.
Yeah.
You don't find that very often,
Hmm.
and especially within the United Methodist Church too, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, that is a very specific call, and it's also a specific call just even when you think about, like, across denominations, right? Like, you don't find that many churches that can
Hmm.
do that thing, and um, so it's an honor to walk alongside you guys and just in the incredible history that you guys already
Hmm.
have and just build on what you've created. Another thing I'm passionate about is social justice, of course, by proxy. You know what I mean? If you're trying to
Yeah.
create this beloved community, we have to shift the status quo, right? And a lot of that has to do with social justice work. I am very, very Wesleyan. And so I believe in what John Wesley talked about of not having this personal holiness, this one
Hmm.
directional thing between me and God, but the social holiness that brings
Yeah.
everybody into the mix with that. And so, yeah, those are things that I fight for. I try to do it even from my rural space that's here
Yeah.
and as much as I can, but I'm really excited for the possibilities to be able to do that with Park on a variety of different levels and building those relationships and networks to be able to do it in a broader sense for our local communities and beyond.
Yeah. And for those of you that are newer to Park, this is something that Park has specifically named, and this is what we want to be. This is who we want to be. And when we were thinking about the kind of pastor and sharing what we wanted is we wanted somebody that could fully help us become this kind of church. And like, it's just so amazing to hear this from you and to see your passion bringing it in and just to have your leadership. It's what we need. And yeah, we're so thrilled.
Hey, I don't know. I'm like,
Yeah.
I tell you, and when I got the news, I cried. Like, I'm like, oh, I ain't chained to tell nobody. I cried. Like, it was
Yeah.
just because, like, I mean, in terms of the alignment, it's uncanny, and like the
Mhm.
spirit is doing amazing things.
Mhm.
I'm so grateful for the journey that God has led me on. And, the as you were talking about for us who are elders, we kind of pledge to itineracy, which is to go where we're sent, right?
Mhm.
And I've learned so much, in
Mhm.
being sent even into rural ministry. I've been in rural ministry, I've been in suburban ministry, now going into urban ministry. And, I'm just super excited and just honored, for
Mhm.
being your future pastor on
Yes.
July 1. I'm just seeing how we can grow together and what the future holds. I'm
Oh,
excited for it.
that's wonderful. I feel like this is just getting a good wrap up. And so is there anything else that you want the people of Park to know about you?
I think the biggest thing that I'd want you guys to know is that, like, I'm here for you. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
I I'm I'm open to feedback. I'd love to get a coffee or something like that and just hear what your hopes and dreams for Park are.
Mm.
That's really important to me. I'm like, I do not make up the church. All of
Hmm.
us make up the church. The church isn't just a building, right? As
Yeah.
you guys have figured out, especially since January, the
Hmm.
church is far more than a hour on Sunday morning, an hour and a half on Sunday morning. It's what we do in the meantime of all of that. And so I want to hear your hopes and dreams. I want to hear what your gifts are, how we can integrate your gifts into the mission that we have out in the world to transform this world for the better. And so please reach out to me. I'd love to get to know each of you. I know it's a bigger church, but I
Yeah.
do want to get to know you guys. And it just helps me a lot more for knowing what we have the capacity for, right?
Hmm.
And also to stretch you too as well. Like I'm sure we'll challenge each other in a
Yeah.
variety of different ways, but just know that I'm accessible and I'm here.
Ah, that's wonderful, man. And let me sneak this one last question
Sure.
in.
Yeah.
The Minnesota State Fair. Do you
Okay.
go? Have you been? Will
I
you go this
haven't
summer?
gone to I will likely go this summer. I
Okay.
haven't been, but I've heard so many wonderful things about it. And I know like there's a bunch of my colleagues who are in it too. And so
Yeah.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
excited.
That is awesome. That's a good one. Good one to end off on is
Yeah.
thinking about the state fair.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Something joyous. And yes, you will be our pastor by then. You will be officially started.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Thank you so much for doing this interview
Sure.
and for just sharing so much. This is just I'm excited to have it out for Park to see and get to know you. And I can tell you, especially from the staff, we're so excited to have you join us and to lead us into this work that we're going to be doing. And as a tender at Park too, I know all of us are just feeling so much joy about this.
Yay. I'm
So,
excited. I'm excited to meet all of you guys and
yep.
see you in person. And yeah, I'm excited.
All
If you
right.
guys can continue to pray for us in this
Mm,
transition, please do. Prayers matter. I'm telling you. Pray for
yep.
my current churches that I have here
Mhm.
in Breckenridge and Fairmount as I transition out, and we're definitely holding you guys in prayer too, as well
Mm,
as I transition in. And just a huge thank to Pastor Dan for all of the
mhm.
work that he's done, that he's been there with. But I'm excited for what the future holds.
Yep. Right. Well, bye, Park Avenue.
We'll see you later. We'll see you soon, Park Avenue.